Hello, my friend. Happy New Year. Welcome to this January 1st, 2025 episode of the Dad's Making a Difference podcast. It's incredible to be here with you, the start of a fresh year, a fresh start for all of us. And I know it's an exciting time for you because every year when you look at the year ahead, we know that we want to be better. We want to be stronger. We want to be healthier. We want to be more present for our families. And I am here to do that for you. I'm here to give you a roadmap, the framework in 2025 through this podcast to get you there. And in this episode today, I'm going to tell you the three peaks, the three summits that you must get to the top of in order to make a difference in your family, your work, your community in 2025. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about purposeful priorities. And we're going to talk about lasting impact, building a legacy that matters. And I'm going to make a commitment to you. I'm going to make a commitment to you in this episode to show up every week, giving you one actionable step that you can take away in each one of those areas. Today, I am also going to present you with an incredible opportunity to join me in something very, very special. I don't want to put it out here. You're going to have to listen to the episode. This episode of the Dad's Making a Difference podcast, the first episode of 2025, starts right now. Hello, my friend. Welcome to this Happy New Year's episode of the Dad's Making a Difference podcast. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year to you. We are starting the year right, January 1st, 2025. Here we go. I am so excited to dive into this episode. I had a lot of thoughts. I was planning out this first episode of 2025. First, I was thinking, well, let's do a goal-setting podcast, but everyone is doing a goal-setting podcast. So instead, I want to dive in to the purpose of Dad's Making a Difference. I want to share with you some reflections of 2024 going into 2025. I created this episode specifically for you, the busy dad who's trying to balance being a great father, a thriving business owner, entrepreneur, or thriving in your work, and still having time to take care of yourself. Three things in our life that we really work hard to balance: our family, being a great husband and father, taking care of the work that we're responsible for, and then, of course, taking care of our health. So I'm glad that you're here because I have a question for you as you start 2025. And the question is this: in 2024, that's just passed, did you ever feel like you were juggling so many responsibilities, but somehow nothing felt like it was getting your full attention? I know I felt that way. 2024 was a year of ups and downs, celebrations and low points, and I think it was for all of us. But I want to remind you of something, and I have a quote here. I'm holding it up. It's a little calendar I have a friend gave me from Adam Grant. It's like one thought per day. And one of the thoughts here for today, actually, Wednesday, January 1st, is this: the point of reviewing our mistakes isn't to shame your past self, but it's to educate your future self. I'm thinking about that today. I'm thinking about you, and I'm thinking about your future self. Because rumination is recycling old thoughts of what went wrong, where reflection is looking at new insights on how we can do better. Because none of us can undo last year. But what we can do is improve this one. And today I want to give you a framework, a guideline on how you are going to improve your life, your family life, your professional life, your personal health in 2025. That's why this podcast exists. This podcast exists because I've been there. I've struggled. I've gone through the highs and lows, the questioning myself, the diving all into something only to find that it's distracting me from my priorities. So today, I'm going to dive in for those of you who are new here, a little bit about what this podcast is about, why it matters, and what you can expect as we walk through this journey in 2025 together. So let's start there. What is Dads Making a Difference? And what is this podcast about? First of all, this is not just a podcast. And my hope for 2025 is that this isn't just something you listen to on Wednesdays when we release new episodes every week, like we have for the last 2.5 years, but that each episode is a roadmap to help you focus on 3 critical areas. I think of these as peaks like summits of mountains, different peaks that we want to climb and get to and conquer in our journey. And my hope for you is that in 2025, each one of these peaks is a peak that you can conquer in your own journey. And so I'm going to talk about those 3 peaks right now, the 3 peaks that I'll reference this year, 2025, within Dads Making a Difference. Peak 1 is this: health. A strong body equals a clear mind. Dan Martell says, exhaust the body, tame the mind. And I was thinking about that. There's a lot of times where I can tame my mind without exhausting my body. But when my body is strong, when I'm taking care of myself in my exercise, in my nutrition, my mind is clear. And my goal for you in 2025 is that you start with peak 1, that you start with a strong body and a clear mind. And then when you move past that, you can move into peak number 2, which is purposeful priorities, which is winning back your time, owning your time, focusing on what matters. And then once we get through peaks 1 and peaks 2, as we go through 2025, we're going to talk about building a lasting impact. And that's peak 3. That means building a legacy that matters. Now, we throw the word legacy around here often, but what I mean is, are you setting an example and putting in the work, the connections, the steps right now so that what you are doing is making an impact and will have an influence in the lives of those around you? So this whole 3 peak system, peak 1 being health, peak 2, purposeful priorities, peak 3 with a lasting impact. This isn't about perfection. This is not about you perfecting this in the next 12 months. It's about progress, about 1%. Each one of these peaks, actually, when we split it into the years, about 100 days. 100 days of 1% for each of these peaks. It's about showing up every day with intention, with clarity, and purpose. So why does this matter? Well, let's get real. Dads are under a lot of pressure right now. I'm feeling it. I know you are feeling it. That pressure could be pressure from work. It could be the demands of family. It could be a loved one who's ill. It could be financial pressure. It could be a whole lot of things that right now are standing in front of you, and you are seeing those as a barrier right now instead as an opportunity. And here's what I mean by this. If you're scrolling through Instagram right now, if you're scrolling through any type of social media, what you're seeing is Instagram influencers and all these sponsored posts telling you that you need to hustle harder, work harder at work, be present at home, and somehow also take care of yourself. Well, hustle harder, be present, take care of yourself. That stuff, when you think of it all at once, that is exhausting. We cannot do that all at once right from the hop. So if you're setting New Year's resolutions right now and you're setting goals and intentions for 2025, I'm going to encourage you, you can make those your intentions to be healthier, to be more present, to take care of yourself, but you need to chunk it down. And here's the truth. Balance is required for you to accomplish all of these things. And balance isn't a myth. It is actually possible. Trust me, I have found it. And yes, there's times where I get out of balance. Maybe there's some counterbalance happening. Yeah, I truly believe that work-life balance doesn't exist, that we have counterbalance, that sometimes My family takes a little bit more of my priority, my attention. Maybe the business takes a little bit more. The podcast takes a little bit more attention. Maybe work takes a little bit more attention. And I have to counterbalance through that. You can do the same, but the key is knowing how to do it and having the skills to do it. And through this podcast, it's my hope and goal to share lessons that I've learned, stories from other dads, and practical tools that you can use right now, each day, to start creating balance in your life this year and in years to come. Your family does not need you to be a perfect dad. They need you. They need you fully present, healthy, and intentional. Think about that. Your family doesn't need you to be perfect. None of us are going to be perfect, although we're seeing everybody's perfect filter on social media of how amazing of a father they are, amazing of a husband they are, all the things that they're able to accomplish, the success financially that they're having. We see all these filtered posts, but the truth is you don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be present. You do need to be healthy. You need to take care of you so you can take care of others. And you need to be intentional. Intentional. So what does that mean? And what can you expect from intentionality? Well, through this year in 2025, here's what you can expect. My intentions are going to be through this podcast. First, my intentions are to always bring you actionable steps that you can take each and every day. And the guests that we bring on, they may have a book, they may have a program, maybe they want to share something with you. But I look through those very carefully because I know that somewhere in their message, maybe it's in their program, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not even in their book. But in our conversation, there are nuggets that you can take. Maybe there's one thing, two things, three things that you can take and implement into your week right away that can make you fully present, healthier, and intentional. And so my intention is this, to come to you with solo episodes this year with actionable strategies, tools, and reflections that you can apply immediately. I'm also going to bring on amazing guests. Continuing in 2025 to bring on guests. Do you know that so far we have had 137 guests on this podcast? It's incredible. We've learned so much. I have this practice. I actually have them right here. Open up the box and I'll show you. And if you're a guest listening to this, spoiler alert. But these little envelopes, these brown envelopes with the DMD stickers, I write a handwritten thank you note just of appreciation to everyone who comes on the podcast. And it's actually not just a note. If I can dig in here and show you what it actually is. It's a postcard of my family and I. It's right at the bottom. I can't get it, but it's a picture of me and my family because that's what's important to me. And I want the guests on this podcast to get that from me and know my why. Does your family know that they're your why? And if they're not your why, what is? Because as a dad making a difference, I need to know that I want to be a dad making a difference in my why, which is my family, being a better husband, being a better father. So the conversations that I'm going to have with our guests, with the experts, with the successful dadpreneurs, the guys who are building businesses or side gigs, the authors, the experts, they're all going to be people, men, and maybe a few women who have walked the path. And we're going to share real stories with you, honest conversations about wins, about struggles, and everything in between. A couple teasers, some upcoming solo episodes that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sharing the number one mistake that busy dads make when balancing work and family. These are from the hardships that I've learned, the things that I've messed up with, and the things that I have gone through that I do not want you to go through in 2025 and beyond. I'm also going to do a solo episode on why your health is the foundation for being a great dad and a great leader. You guys know me. You know, through Fight the Dad Bod, I am passionate about helping you become a healthier father. And I think you truly need to be healthy physically and mentally to be able to take care of those in your life and to lead. I do this every year. I do one episode on time and priorities. But more specifically, for the guys out there who have a side gig, who are leading a business, who are in somebody else's business, or you're showing up to a 9 to 5 every day and giving everything you've got, I'm going to do one on time and priorities of winning back your day as a busy father. because I want this podcast to feel like a conversation with a friend who understands you and who's here to help, because that's why I'm here, it is to help you. So here is what I want you to do. I want you right now, if you haven't already, I want you to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode, that you don't miss an episode in 2025, because I'm going to tell you, we're going to bring it. My promise to you is that I'm going to bring it this year in a way that I've never done before. And I'm going to be more open. I'm going to be more transparent. And I'm going to be way more picky on the people who come on this podcast. So number one, you're going to hit that subscribe button. Two, if you are on social media, I want you to follow me. I want you to follow me on Instagram at Dad's Making a Difference. And I want you to send me a DM, a message with any questions, topics, or struggles that you want covered on this podcast. This podcast is meant to speak to you. And I need your input on what to bring to make it the most valuable for you. And then three, of course, share this podcast. Share this podcast with one dad that you know might need it. Because this isn't a journey that you have to walk alone. This isn't a journey that I'm walking alone. I tell you, selfishly, from each one of these episodes where I get to bring on a guest, or I get feedback from you, or someone leaves a review, I learn something. And I learn something that I can then take, reflect upon, and then bring to you in a way that gives you actionable steps. Because this journey, like I said, is one you don't do on your own. I just want you to get started. And I have an exciting announcement to make. It is January 1st, 2025. And I have put together something I'm super proud of, something extremely incredible. Man, I put a ton of sweat, tears. I haven't bled over this because I've been working in my home office and that would be weird. But I have put a lot of time and effort and thought and passion into a project that I want to bring to you. And I'm excited to announce it live right now on January 1st that it's open for registration. And it's the Balanced Dad Blueprint. You might be thinking, what is that? What is the Balanced Dad Blueprint? Well, it is a 12-month coaching program for dads. And each one of those peaks that I mentioned in this episode, at the early in the episode, will take place during this 12-month period. This is a comprehensive, the most thought out, planned out, in-depth coaching program I've ever created. And if you're listening to this and you have coached with me in the past, you're like, Cam, I doubt it because my coaching experience with you was so great, right? That's what you're thinking. But honestly, if you were a guy who was in Dad's Making a Difference over the last 2 years in part of our group communities, you know the power of the group conversations and the weekly accountability calls. You know the power of the one-on-one check-ins. You know that it makes a huge difference in your life. And if you're a guy listening to this who's been through my Fight the Dad Bod program or is currently going through Fight the Dad Bod, you know the power of accountability, the power of guidance, the power of hearing from men who have done what you want to do. And so I'm bringing all of that together. I have 3 programs that I've combined into one. And if you don't know this about me, you're going to learn right now. Fight the Dad Bod is 100% about getting healthy. It's about you being able to live fit, healthy, and fulfilled with your family. I help men lose their first 20 pounds in 90 days. That's what that program is designed to do. Well, within the Balanced Dad Blueprint, we are going to focus on that as our number one peak, personal health. So peak 1 is the first 4 months. It's going to be months 1 through 4, and we're focusing on personal health. Strong body, clear mind. That is our goal through peak number 1. You might be thinking, Cam, what does peak number 1 look like? Well, I'm going to bring up some details. I haven't shared this out publicly. You can share it if you want. I'm going to bring it up right here. I've been working on a little bit of a page, a little bit of a information for people who are interested in this. And so if you go to dadsmakingadifference.ca/Balanced Dad Blueprint, you are going to find out You're going to find all this information. You're going to find a way to be able to contact me and just let me know that you are interested in this, because it is time to lead with strength, with purpose, and with legacy, because you deserve more out of life. You really do, because you work hard to provide for your family. But are you really showing up as the best version of yourself? Think about that right now. In 2024, did you show up as the best version of yourself? If you didn't, that's fine. Reflect on it. Don't ruminate on it. Reflect on it as a way that you can improve. Remember, you can't undo last year, but you can improve this year. Because if you're not showing up as the best version of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle showing up for your family, because many dads struggle with balancing those things. They struggle with balancing their health, their relationships, their personal goals. And this leaves them feeling stuck and overwhelmed. And unfortunately, for so many men out there, unfulfilled. They have a greater purpose inside and they haven't reached it yet. And so within the 3-peak framework of the Balanced Dad Blueprint, you're going to go through 3 distinct peaks. The first one is going to be our foundation. Like I said, I'm taking everything from Fight the Dad Bod, I'm plugging it into this. And we're talking about strong body, clear mind. And we're going to develop physical strength and mental clarity, develop sustainable habits when it comes to exercise, nutrition, and sleep. And we're going to master stress management and resilience. 2 things that as a dad who's going to be successful, you need to master. And we're going to offer specific trainings in all of these areas for the first 4 months. Now, throughout this entire process, we have some underlying themes of impact and influence within dads making a difference. But with peak number 1, we're talking about foundation, strong body, clear mind, months 1 to 4. Peak 2 is alignment. Alignment. Do you have purposeful priorities? And this is where we're going to dive in through months 5 to 8 while we continue to build our personal health and we continue that momentum and get you amazing results in your health, in your fitness. We are now going to clarify your values and align your actions with those values. We're going to strengthen your relationships with your spouse and your kids. And we're going to master time management for your work and your family balance or counterbalance. When I was teaching and coaching and Fight the Dad Bod, the first 3 months are always the easiest, really. It was after the 3 months that guys had difficulty keeping up with the routines, keeping up with the structures. This is going to take care of that because we are with you every step of the way. I'm with you every step of the way, week by week, month by month. And so you go through peak number 1, months 1 to 4, that carries in through the entire program. In month 5, we're introducing our purposeful priorities, getting clear on our values, aligning our actions, and we're going to master that time management so that we can strengthen our relationships with our family. And then peak 3 is months 9 through 12, and that's about creating a lasting impact. We're going to develop growth strategies for sustainable success, lead with confidence at home, at work, and in the community, and create a vision for long-term legacy. And we're thinking about, Cam, where does all this come from? Well, we know that peak number 1 comes from my work with Fight the Dad Bod. Peak number 2 comes through the purposeful priorities and the work that I've done through Dads Making a Difference, through this podcast, through the networking, through the mastermind groups, through the coaching, the one-to-one coaching. And then peak number 3, the legacy impact, developing growth strategies for sustainable results, and really about leadership and confidence. That comes from my lived experience of being a leader in a very demanding environment, through my master's in educational leadership degree, through my work as a business consultant and leadership coach, and in my work one-to-one leading men through building businesses, side gigs, and still showing up for their family. So there we go. I'm super excited about this. I don't know if you can tell. If you are interested in hearing more about the Balanced Dad Blueprint for 2025, I am only opening this up to 10 men. This is the first cohort we're starting. We will not open this up again for another 4 months. We're going to do one cohort at a time for 4 months. So we're going to start. And so we'll go January, February, March. We're not going to open up registration for a second cohort until April. So don't sleep on this. Start taking action today. And if you are interested in taking action, stepping up, there are 2 ways that you can do that. First, you're going to go to dadsmakingadifference.ca/Balanced Dad Blueprint. Okay, you're going to go there. It's balance-dad-blueprint. And you're going to go there and you're going to book a call with me and you're going to find out what this is all about. And we're going to see if you're a fit. Like I said, it's only open to 10 guys. And if you're not a fit, I will let you know in the most caring, respectful way. But we want men who are committed, who are driven, who are ready to go. And we're going to start right away strong with getting our health right. So this is for everyone, but it's not for anyone. So this is what I mean by that. I know that this program is going to be a complete life changer for you. It's going to be a complete lifestyle transformation. And I know that's intimidating. And you might be like, oh, that's a little uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. Well, you know what? Do you want to look back December 2025 at the year that you just had and say, oh, that was just like 2024? Don't go through another year making the same excuses and getting to the same point that you did last year. I'm just being honest with you. Don't do the same dumb stuff and expect a different result. It's time to surround yourself with coaching, with mentorship, with leadership, with accountability and community to keep you moving forward. And so you're going to go to dadsmakingadifference.ca/balanced-dad-blueprint. You're going to find out information. You can also go to my Instagram at Dad's Making a Difference and send me a DM that you're interested. You heard it on the podcast, and we're going to set up a conversation, you and me, one-to-one, and we'll talk about your goals for 2025 and how we can get you there. My friend, I appreciate you. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to open up this opportunity to you. This is not a program for pretenders. This is not for guys who are 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This is a program and a coaching program that is intensive. It's going to require you to invest in yourself. It's going to require you to invest time each week in yourself. It's going to require you to invest time into your family, energy into your family, energy into other men. This is a program for givers, not takers. And if you are a man who is ready to give yourself to this program, give your attention, give your purpose, give your commitment so that you can show up more for your family, then this is for you. And I can't wait to walk arm in arm with you through this journey over the next 12 months and beyond. Here's a little teaser. You might be wondering, Cam, why did you call these peaks? Why does each one of these have a peak? I love the Rocky Mountains. I love hiking. I love summiting hikes, getting to the top of a peak and looking out and knowing that I've accomplished something. There is nothing better than that feeling where you get close to the top, you're on that scramble and you're working hard forward and you slide a little bit back and the rocks are falling around you, but you finally get up to that peak and you look around and you see what you've accomplished, only to see that there's another peak ahead of you. And if that competitive spirit inside of you is like, I want to get better. I want to get 1% better every single day to reach that peak. I want to get 1% better so I can show up more for my family. Then this is for you. And the teaser is, my goal is to do a live event in 2025 for the men in this program. It will be exclusively for the men in this program, where we will meet in the Rockies and we're going to do some amazing stuff together. And yes, I may make you climb a mountain. So don't be afraid, because if you dive into this, we're going to get you ready and we're going to have an amazing experience together. You're going to build connections, friendships, be part of a brotherhood. It's going to get you moving forward. All right, the Balanced Dad Blueprint. I'm excited to bring it to you. Man, I cannot wait for 2025. It is January 1st. I'm fired up. Let's do this together. My friend, I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here. Let's get on this journey together. Like I said, if you have any ideas, thoughts, comments about what you want, struggles you want addressed, send me a message at Dad's Making a Difference on Instagram, and I will see it and we'll craft an episode for that. But remember, here is what I want you to do. 3 things. Number 1, you're going to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Number 2, you're going to follow me on Instagram at Dad's Making a Difference and send me a DM with any questions, topics, or struggles you want covered. And number 3, you're going to share this podcast with one dad you know might need it, because you might change his life. This journey isn't one you have to walk alone, my friend. So let's get started together. I appreciate you here. We'll see you next week on the next episode of the Dad's Making a Difference podcast.